Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. I'm Lars and this is the New Balance More V5. Oh, squishy. What's new in the More V4, you say? Well, everything. A new type of midsole, a new platform with new rubber, like a horseshoe pattern right here, a new upper, a new gusseted tongue. It's fairly new, the entire thing. So let's just go straight into the midsole and talk about that. 1080 V13, this shoe right here, was updated with the super soft Fresh Foam X that made the 1080 V13 very, very soft, and even softer than the More V4. As I can feel, it's probably the same type of hardness, softness in the midsole, but there's just more of it. And when you get more midsole on the sidewalls and the platform, you get a little bit of a firmer feel, slightly firmer feel, and a lot more stability. And that's quite easy to see if you look at these two shoes side by side. You see this one, More V5, is very, very stable, and the 1080 is a little bit more soft and wobbly, like a neutral shoe should be. So that's kind of the thought with the midsole. More on the running feel later. When it comes to the upper, you can see that it's not a major difference compared to the More V4. You have a mesh type of upper, some padding in the heel here. The tongue is fully gusseted, so that means you also have a second layer inside here. So when you stick your feet in, that tongue will stay in place. But that also means that you have one layer inside of this thinner mesh. I've tried this out in the last couple of weeks and I haven't had any issues with breathability, but 2 layers is often thicker than 1 layer, so just keep that in mind. When it comes to the outsole, you see here that horseshoe pattern. You got some nice coverage here, but you still have some exposed foam in these parts, and that's just weight saving because there's a lot of midsole in this package. And as we all know, rubber is also very, very heavy. Now, New Balance is saying this is actually a little bit more responsive than the More V4, and that's probably because there's a little bit more bounce in the Fresh Foam X compared to the last version's Fresh Foam. I can't remember if it's X or not. Anyways, I can see their point there, but I would still argue this is a shoe for the long runs and the slower runs. It's just a shoe for comfort. It's the king of softness, in my opinion. And even though there's still a little bit of bounce in the midsole, I still think this is more of a mattress type of cushioning where you just get a lot of shock absorption. One thing that I need to emphasize here is that even though I say this is a recovery and a slow run, long run type of shoe, it actually performs pretty well when you go up to moderate tempo on a long run, where you just keep the pace going. I easily ran a 15K in my marathon pace the other day, and I really had no issues with this shoe at all. Usually about 5, 6, 7 kilometers in, I kind of feel it, but I didn't hear it. It felt really good and it just felt easy to run in. When it comes to the fit of the shoe, it's almost like a boxy kind of square fit. It doesn't taper in too much here in the top. You get a lot of space in the toe box, but still enough hold around the midfoot. It's not that type of fast cornering type of fit, if you understand me. It's nice, secure, but you would have a little bit of movement when it's that tall and you do a really fast 90-degree turn. In general, if you want a shoe that's great for slow runs, recovery runs, long runs, or those steady paced runs, then the More V5 shouldn't disappoint. Its extra stability just feels great when you get a little bit tired in the ankles, and that cushioning is just super comfortable. A great buy, and it outperforms how bulky it actually seems. And the best thing about it is that you can find it on runningexpert.com later this year.